let's get practical about here. For security and AI leaders who are trying to enable AI safely, what should they actually be doing? Skills, policies, visibility? Where should they start?
First of all, we need to make sure that our employees have the skill set they need and understand the risks they're taking. So, we moved into DevOps. We had to reteach. I'll use cybersecurity as an example again. I had to teach the people in the SOC, okay, you can't put a file integrity manager on a code snippet. You need to work with the developers to integrate security differently. And then the next thing we were talking about is suddenly it's all around APIs. And so I needed to work with my SOC and say, listen, there's business logic attacks. These are a new type of attacks. We need to educate the team on how to deal with those kind of things. Now we're, dealing with Gen AI, and I need people to understand, okay, we're not here to say no. We're here to make sure they understand the risks they're taking. And so as we go in and we try to partner with them so they understand the risk and we mitigate it to an acceptable level, we need those skill sets. So I need my SOC analysts to have prompting skills. I need my compliance people to understand the complexities of Gen AI and have a background in how we would do an audit. I need the forensic people to understand how we would potentially do a forensic examination of, OpenAI. Again, I just said something that I'm not sure is possible, but if it's not possible, at a minimum, we need to understand we're taking that risk. So those are the big things I would say is making sure we have the skills. And then again, that visibility of knowing where it's happening. I don't want people to be afraid of AI. I don't want Luddites on my team. I want people leaning in, getting educated, leveraging it, and optimizing it moving forward.
Since we're talking about culture and we're also talking about some of these culture shift, we have seen DevOps evolve into DevSecOps. Do you think we are headed towards something like AI SecOps, or will AI security just become a part of the same toolbox that CISO already use, or it will become a separate discipline altogether?
I'm going to give a more nuanced answer. I think ultimately we need to make sure, first of all, that we understand this is people, processes, and technology. I really hit on the people earlier on that, making sure they have the skill set. The processes, we need to make sure we have those policies out there, that we've established, what we expect and how we're going to govern. And then the technology, we put in the AI firewall, we put in those kind of things. If we're working with vendor management, we're making sure that we include in the agreement with our external private Gen AI provider that we can audit and do an investigation and pull up the equivalent of logs to see what happened at some point. So across all of this, I think we're going to have some tools that are dependent on Gen AI. But most of our time is going to be spent securing the capabilities that we're providing as a service. I think that's it.